Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you all. Here is the last topic of chapter 3, cleaning action of soaps and detergent. Page number 50. Have a look. Cleaning action of soap and detergent. When soap or detergent dissolve in water, the molecules gather as cluster and called micelles. When we add soaps or detergent in a bottle, the molecules gather to form a cluster. Here is a cluster. When some clothes or hands we will wash, they form a micelle. Micelle has head and tail. The structure of micelle is in this way. It's a head part and there is a tail. So their tails stick inward and the head remains outward. In cleaning action, the hydrocarbons tail attach itself to the oil and dirt. Some dirt part is there. These hydrocarbons, the tails of hydrocarbons attach to the oil or dirt particle in this way. It forms micelle. And due to this head part prevent the other molecules and other granules to stuck to them. When we rinse or stir the water continuously, this will remove from that particular area. This micelle remove from that particular area and take another stuck to the another dirt particle and do the same process again and again. Due to this, all the oil and dirt particle remove from the clothes and clothes become clean. When we rinse cloth from water, it will remove out and we will have a clean and fresh clothes and hands. When water is stirred, the oil and dirt tends to lift off from the dirty surface and deassociate with into the fragments. And we will see some fragments in water and solution of detergent. These fragments having the dirt particle removed from a particular place. This gives an opportunity to other tails stick to the oil and dirt, and the solution now contains small granules of oil and surrounded by the detergent molecule. The negatively charged head present in the water prevent the small granule. These heads are negatively charged particle. Negative charge particle prevents to stuck another granule. This is the process of cleaning action of soaps and detergent. Thus, the oil and dirt are removed from the clothes when they are rinsed with the water. Removal of hardness. There is a three method of removing hardness from the water. First is boiling. In this process, soluble hydrogen carbonate, soluble hydrogen carbonate change into insoluble, and this insoluble hydro carbonate can remove by the filtering of the solution. Here is a reaction of this removing hydrogen carbonate CaHCO3. It's a calcium hydrogen carbonate. When we boil it, it change into CaCO3 plus H2O and carbon dioxide. This is insoluble and it is soluble. This soluble substance change into insoluble and we can remove it by filtering the water and take soft water. This is the process of removing the hardness by boiling. But this method cannot be used for a large amount of water. This is not practically good for the large quantity of water. The another method is by addition of lime, and this process is known as Clark's process. Addition of lime. It is also known as Clark's process. In this, more practical method is to add a calculated quantity of slacked lime. Quantity of slacked lime. And slacked lime is CaOH whole twice. The reaction take place in this way. CaSCO3, it's a calcium hydrogen carbonate. It is also soluble. Same. Soluble, and when we add slacked lime, CaOH whole twice. In this way, we get calcium carbonate and water. And it is insoluble. Filter it and we can get soft water. This is the process in which we get soft water by adding slacked lime or a lime, and this process is known as Clark's process. How it take place? What happened to here? First, there is a two tanks. In first tank, lime and water. Stir it thoroughly and add this water to the hard water. There is a paddle. revolving paddles are there in this tank, and they can stir the water thoroughly and mix it properly with the hard water and take reaction in this way. The third reaction is the addition of washing soda. By addition of washing soda, washing soda has carbonate, sodium carbonate in this, and anhydrous sodium carbonate change the soluble calcium hydrocarbon into insoluble calcium carbonate and make sodium hydrogen carbonate, CaHCO3. The process and reaction is same, Na2CO3. CaCO3 plus NaHCO3. This is soluble. Again, we will filter it and get soft water. Same for the magnesium hydrogen carbonate. Na2CO3 change this magnesium hydrogen carbonate into MgCO3 plus NaHCO3. This is the way, by removing the hardness of water by adding the washing soda. Removal of permanent hardness. Temporary hardness we can remove by just boiling the water, and permanent hardness we will remove this by adding the washing soda. In this washing soda there will be a sulfate ion also. In hard water there will be a sulfate ion also, sulfate and chloride ion also. So how to remove this sulfate and chloride ion? See, CaSO4 sulfate ion, CaSO4 plus Na2CO3. Now what happened? CaCO3. This SO4 ion removed by the carbonate ion and Na2SO4. Sodium sulfate and calcium carbonate formed here, and it is insoluble, removed by the filtration. CaCl2 plus Na2CO3. Same here. This chloride ion replaced by the carbonate ion and the calcium carbonate and NaCl is formed. This is the way in which we can remove the sulfate ion and chloride ion from the hard water by adding the Na2CO3. Here is a problem that there is in magnesium sulfate. We cannot remove all the sulfate ion from the solution. So to remove all sulfate ion, we have to add the washing soda. MgSO4 plus Na2CO3 plus NaCOH whole twice. To remove all sulfate ion from the magnesium sulfate, because is also prevent in the water, present in the water, lime has also to be used besides soda ash. In place of soda ash, with the soda ash we will add the calcium hydroxide to remove all magnesium sulfate to remove all sulfate ion from the magnesium. It's a soda ash, or here is a slacked line. The reaction is in this way. MgOH whole twice plus CaCO3 and Na2SO4. This is the way in which we can remove all the sulfate ion from the magnesium sulfate. Is magnesium carbonate is not fully precipitate, in that case the reaction will be this. The last one is, if hardness is both temporary and permanent, how we can remove? To removing this permanent hardness, we have to use a substance or a salt. The salt is known as zeolite, and this process is used for the large amount of water. To remove large amount of water, we use a zeolite. Zeolite is a substance or a salt having the sodium, aluminium octasilicate, XH2. This is the formula of zeolite. Sodium, aluminium octasilicate. This is the formula for the zeolite, and we can write in another way, in simple method, Na2P or Na2Z. This is the formula of zeolite. Simple formula for this. For sake of convenience, we use this formula. The process is in this way. Here is a hard water. From here, hard water is entering. The zeolite or permeates. Permeates process. This process is known as permeate process. Here is a glass bowl. And then here we can collect the soft water. Soft water. What happened to here? A tall cylindrical substance or a tank is there, loosely fitted with a lump of permeates. This is the lump of zeolite is known as permeates. When hard water containing calcium and magnesium ion, they are having calcium and magnesium ion. In this way, what happened to here? When they percolate from this zeolite, they are having the sodium ion, and this sodium ion are replaced by the calcium and magnesium ion in this way. CaHCO3 plus Na2P, and it change into CaP and sodium ion, Na2CO3. The reaction take place in this way. And with the removal of calcium and magnesium ion, the water becomes soft. When this water passes through this permits zeolite lump, the reaction take place. All the calcium ion replaced by the sodium and change the zeolite change into calcium zeolite. This will, after that, the soft water is collected in here at the bottom, and we will collect it in another container. This process will not be go for a longer time because all the sodium ion change into calcium. Now after long time, this sodium ion change into calcium ion, and they cannot remove further calcium ion with this zeolite to recharge this. So to recharge this, there is a solution of brine solution. Brine solution means solution of sodium chloride. Pass through this zeolite, and the action again take place in this way. CaP replaced by the calcium, Na2P plus CaCl2. The reaction take place in this way. To recharge the zeolite or permits substance, we have to add brine water or brine solution in the container to remove all the calcium ion from the zeolite. Zeolite is a generally formed and found in the mineral abundance in large deposit of volcano tuff. Zeolite found volcano tuff. They can easily be dried, so can be used for a ion exchange. This will be used for the ion exchange. Softening water using ion exchange resin. For scientific purposes, even the presence of positive sodium and negative bicarbonate, NaHCO3. Sodium having the positive ion and HCO3 has negative charge on them. And sulfate ion is not desirable. To remove these ion, water is passed through the synthetically prepared cation and anion. We have to remove them by electrically charged water, and this will change in this way. NaOH and HCO3 is H2CO3. This will the hydroxide and hydrogen carbonate, the acid is forming in this reaction. Here is a neutralized reaction. Prepare the cation and anion, exchange resin by one. This will exchange. This water has this charge. This H will take place here and OH will take place at the sodium ion and form this. This is the ion exchange method by resin. Now in this way we have completed this chapter. Yes, anyone want to ask anything? Have you any problem? Okay. I am taking another topic, and the topic name is atomic structure and chemical bonding. We have to finish the course fast because 4 chapters are remaining. So taking the new chapter, atomic structure and chemical bonding. Chapter 4. Atomic structure and chemical bonding. I give you the short. Many attempts have been taken and given to know the structure of matter. Many attempts given to know the structure of matter. How matter is made up of. There is a long process to know the structure of matter. Many scientists and persons have worked on them and find the final structure that we are studies here today. Smallest particle of matter was first given. Smallest particle of matter given by the Maharshi Kanad in 16th century. Kanad proposed that matter is made up of a small particle, and he tells this small particle name Parmanu. The meaning of Parmanu means par means ultimate, last one, ultimate, and anu, which means particle. It is given by the Indian person Maharshi Kanad, and he gave this smallest particle name Parmanu. Atom combines to form molecules. When two atoms or more than two atoms combine together and they form molecule. And when molecules combine together to form compound. After that, the Greek philosopher Democritus called the Parmanu name atom. Who gave this name atom? Democritus gave the name atom, which means indivisible. We cannot divide, we cannot split them in further small particles, and this name is given by the Democritus. After that, scientific theory for this structure of atom given by the John Dalton. After that, John Dalton come. John Dalton came in 1808 and he gave atomic theory of atom. According to this theory, the postulate of atomic theory given by the John Dalton is the matter is made up of small particles called atoms. Matter is made up of small particles called atoms, and this is the smallest part of a matter. Atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. Atom neither be created. We cannot create atom nor destroy it, and we cannot destroy also. The third postulate of this is atom of an element are alike. Same element having the same kind of atom. Of element of same kind are same or alike in respect to the structure and reactivity. In all respect, but differ from the different elements atom. Different elements atom. Elements are elements of one atom combined with atom to another element or atom to form compounds. An atom is the smallest particle which can take part in chemical reactions. These are the postulate of John Dalton's theory of atomic structure of matter. After that, many scientists work on them and give their own suggestion. First is atoms are made up of charged particle, and this is given by the Michael Faraday. Atoms are charged particle, and due to this, it is given the charged particle. It means it shows the electricity is due to the flow of charged particle. The particle has been put forward. This charged particle put forward the invention and discovery of the electricity by static electricity in 1883. Michael Faraday. Show their experiment the flow of charge. Showed the flow of and discovered the electricity. The electricity is due to the flow of charge. Then G.J. Stoney. G.J. Stoney in 1874 suggested the name electrons for the electrical particle. He gave the name electron. 1874 gave the name electron. These electrons are negatively charged particle. Then J.J. Thomson. After that, J.J. Thomson worked on them and discovered the negative charge particle electron. Negative charge particle and electron. This are the work on to find the structure of atoms. Michael Faraday showed that the flow of charge produces electricity. Then G.J. Stoney gave the name electron for that particular charge. J.J. Thomson discovered the electron. He discovered electron. Goldstein discovered the proton, the positively charged particle. Goldstein discovered proton, positively charged particle. And then Chadwick, James Chadwick, found a neutral particle in atom, and it is known as neutron. E. Goldstein discovered the positive charge particle in atom, and he gave the name proton. Then James Chadwick found there is a neutral particle is also present in atom, and he gave this neutral particle name neutron. The electron, protons and neutron, there are three subatomic part of atom, and these are the fundamental part of atom. So electron, proton and neutron are the subatomic part of atom, and these are the fundamental part of atom. Definition of element. What is element? An element is a substance which is made up of only one kind of atom. In element having only one kind of atom. If there is a mixture of another element, it means it is not a pure substance. So what are the characteristics of element? Elements are pure substance. Same here, the atom are the smallest part of element, and these atoms cannot be decomposed or formed. Atoms cannot be or decompose. Element cannot be split into two or more simpler substances. We cannot split them into further smallest substances by heating, breaking or passing electricity. Only radioactive processes and high nuclear reaction can transfer one element to another element. This is all about the structure and characteristics of elements. Discovery of electron. Discovery of electron. William. First, the person who worked on them is William Crooked. William Crooked noted that the gases are poor conductor of electricity. Gases are not the good conductor of, are poor conductor of electricity. So he did a experiment, and after that J.J. Thomson work on them and find the cathode rays. These cathode rays are also known as the discovery of electron. Cathode rays having the negative charge particle on them. cathode rays. In this, cathode rays can be produced at high electricity voltage. It means 18,000 volts, and